Hello everyone and welcome to Shifting Gears. Welcome inside the all-new 2024 Maruti Suzuki Dzire Compact-Sedan in its 4th generation avatar. So this new Dzire in its 4th generation avatar, it is a brand new car. It looks very distinct and it looks very different compared to the Swift. Previously, the Swift and the Dzire, they were very identifiable thanks to the exterior styling and also the interior cabin. Now in its 4th generation avatar, the Dzire looks very different on the outside and it looks very good in my opinion. In this video, I am driving the top of the line variant of this new Dzire in its petrol manual trim. This is the top trim. Of course, you also have the petrol manual with a bi-fuel CNG kit option too, but we are not driving that right now. In this video, we will focus on how this car feels from behind the wheel, this particular variant with that 1.2 3-pot engine with a 5-speed manual transmission. We have a separate video where we speak about this 1.2 liter motor coupled to that 5-speed AMT transmission. And we have 2 more videos, one about the exterior design and one about the interior cabin of this car, so that you can make an informed car buying decision watching our videos. So now is a good time to subscribe to the Shifting Gears channel and press that bell icon. What I really want to highlight is that yes, Maruti Suzuki builds a lot of cars. Yes, they make some cars which are light in the overall weight. But what Maruti Suzuki, does really well is that they make fun cars to drive and fun manual cars for the mass market. And that is something that I really want to highlight right now. And for that, what I'm going to do is, before I get to the specifications, I'm going to pull over to the shoulder and we are going to sprint and put this engine and gearbox to proper use. So now in 3, 2, 1, hard launch. Listen to the engine. It's a 1.2 liter 3-cylinder motor, but when you rev it, it sounds quite nice, and you can rev it all the way to the red line, which is at 6,000 RPM, and it doesn't sound coarse at all. And in 3rd gear itself, you will be well over 120 kilometers per hour, which is why you are hearing that audible beep, which is the speed alert system. So what I want to say is that this engine is very rev happy. Yes, it is a 1.2 liter 3-cylinder engine built for the mass market, basically primarily for fuel efficiency, but it is so much fun. It sounds so good, and this 5-speed manual, super slick and very enjoyable to use and to put to use in proper hardcore fashion too. Let me do that one more time. Let me pull over to the shoulder again and let us accelerate one more time. But before I do that, check this out. Listen to this gear stick. It doesn't sound too notchy on the inside like a few other cars do, and this makes it more enjoyable. The gear throws, they are medium or rather short, I would say, and this gear stick, it looks good, it looks the part, and in terms of ergonomics, there is absolutely no problem to put this to proper use. So slotting it in first, and in 3, 2, 1, hard launch again. Listen to the engine. It's quite fun, and if you want to very quickly upshift once you have built some momentum, it's very, very easy to drive and it is very, very enjoyable to drive. Of course, this Dzire is so much fun. Even the new Swift is so much fun. So you can select between the body style that you like, a hatchback or this compact sedan, and this engine and gearbox combination, it will not let you down if you have your expectations in check, knowing how much money you have spent on whichever product you have brought home and which segment you have picked it up from. You can't really expect a car which costs under 15 lakh rupees to drive like a car which costs 50 lakh rupees. So that is a sensible thing to do, to keep your expectations in check. Nevertheless, for this price, this engine and gearbox, it has enough poke and it has good acceleration, at least in my opinion. Now let us speak about the engine specifications. So powering this new 4th generation Maruti Suzuki Dzire is the Z12E 1.2 liter 3-cylinder naturally aspirated motor. This engine produces 81.58 PS of power at 5700 RPM and 111.7 Newton meters of torque at 4300 RPM. This engine comes coupled to either a manual option or a 5-speed AMT. Even the manual is a 5-speed unit. In manual gearbox options, you are going to get 24.79 kmpl of mileage, and with the AMT, you can expect 25.71 kmpl of mileage. That is Maruti Suzuki's claim. If you buy the Maruti Suzuki Dzire, this 4th generation model with the biofuel kit, which is petrol plus CNG, in that variant, this engine will produce 69.75 PS of power and 101.8 Newton meters of torque, and that biofuel variant will deliver an efficiency of 33.73 kilometers per kilogram of CNG, and you will only get a manual transmission option in the CNG variant. Now what I want to highlight is the overall tractability of this vehicle, of this all new Dzire. Before we do that, speaking about refinement, I told you that the engine sounds quite good, and right now when the engine is idling, the wing mirrors, they are not vibrating, the inside rear view mirror is not vibrating, this gear stick, which is manual, steady, no vibrations, no movement at all, and even the steering wheel, no vibrations that I feel. If you very carefully try to pay attention, only then you might feel some pulsation, but it is not going to make or break the deal at all. Now what I'm going to do is slot it in first. I'm releasing the brake pedal and I'm simply slipping the clutch. Let us check out the tractability. So check this out, no throttle input, and now in first gear it has started to roll. My foot is off the clutch, off the brake, off the accelerator, and it is crawling a little under 1000 RPM and the speed is under 10 kilometers per hour. I'm only going to slot it in second and only going to slip the clutch. Again, no throttle input. I have left the clutch pedal too, and now again it is idling well under 1000 RPM this time, and the speed is a little about 10 kilometers per hour. But this time, at times there is some hesitation, and that is something that you can feel because this is a 3-pot motor and it is a small engine too. When I get on the gas, no knocking, no hesitation, no vibration, it instantly starts rolling with no nervousness at all. So that is quite an impressive thing. I'm going to pull over again, and this time I'm going to stay in second gear and I'm going to start off from a standstill in second gear. So check this out, only slipping the clutch, no throttle input. It hesitates a little, it is not very confident to do so. When I want to do that with some throttle input, I can build the revs and then I can get going. And this time, if I'm matching the revs and the clutch, you can get going with no knocking at all. So in terms of tractability, this is quite easy and effortless a product. So if you are driving inside the city, when you are slowing down, maybe for a speed breaker, you don't necessarily have to shift down to first gear when you are starting off. If there is some momentum, you can slip the clutch, you can modulate your throttle, and you will be good to go. So this is going to be an effortless manual vehicle for you. Going to slow down one more time, and this time what I'm going to tell you is the ideal shift points. Over here with this manual trim of this new Dzire, you also have a gear shift assistance. So you see a small triangle which tells you to upshift whenever you are at the ideal rev range. So slotting it in first, and now I'm gonna start rolling. Checking out traffic, getting onto the lane, and it told me to upshift at 2000 RPM from first to second gear. And moving from second to third, it told me to upshift under 2000 RPM. I'm now in third. Again, an upshift prompt a little over 1500 RPM. And now from fourth to fifth, the upshift prompt has not come up yet. Not yet. We are on an incline patch, by the way, and still waiting. And a little under 2000 RPM, I have received that upshift prompt, and the speed was close to 60 kilometers per hour. So under 60, you can get onto the fifth gear, and then you are good to go. Right now, I am on an incline. I am in fifth gear. I'm just reducing the speed. The speed is at 50 kilometers per hour, and when it senses that load, right now the gear shift assistance is asking me to downshift to fourth, and now there is no problem. It is, spinning faster. It is revving up faster rather than how it was in fifth gear. So this gear shift assistance is going to be your good companion if this is a first car for you, if this is maybe your first manual product. So if you're new to driving, this gear shift assistance will help you understand what is the ideal rev range to upshift, and this is primarily going to be optimized more for efficiency so that you can get better mileage, drive for longer, get better range, and require lesser fuel stops. So speaking about performance, this engine right now I am at 80 kilometers per hour. In fifth gear, the engine RPM is at 2000. So this is standard fare, and it is as relaxed as it can be. No engine noise inside the cabin at 80 kilometers per hour. I can only hear the AC fan blower because I have kept it high because it is a hot sunny day in Goa. Driving over a concrete road, not too much of road noise, not too much of tire noise inside the cabin. And at 80, there is no wind buffeting or any wind noise either. So for your daily city runs, this is going to be a comfortable car. This is going to be a, quiet car inside the cabin for you and for your passengers. So nobody will feel that fatigue because of ambient noises or engine noise or tire noise. So this is a good car to be driven around in. Now, when I continue in fifth gear, if I let the speeds drop to 70, then I want to pick it up back to 80, no problems at all. It doesn't really require a downshift if you slow down. If I try to slow down below 60, let us check it out again. This time we are not on an uphill, so I have let the speed drop to 50 kilometers per hour. Now when I get on the gas, now the engine is not asking me to downshift. So the engine also is smart enough. It senses the load. The onboard computer, it understands your driving style, and then it will give you those prompts. So it is quite a practical motor, and it is definitely going to be efficient too. Speaking about efficiency, let me tell you, today when I have been reviewing this manual variant of this Dzire, the mileage which I have achieved, which I can see, is 16.4 kmpl. I can show that to you over here as well. Check this out, 16.4 kmpl, and this is only increasing when I am out driving on the highway. If you're going to be driving around with this car inside city limits, especially in bumper to bumper traffic, mileage figure can be on the lower side, but it will always be double digits because it's a Maruti Suzuki, it's a 3-pot motor, and it's a 1.2 liter engine. Also, to save some fuel, you have engine start-stop functionality, idle start-stop functionality. So when you come to a standstill, the engine will shut off, it will save that fuel, and you're going to be that much cleaner and greener towards the environment too, if at all you want to do that. Otherwise, if you ask me, I switch it off because I find that feature too intrusive, and I don't think it makes too much of a difference because firstly, the AC performance just, dies off because of that feature, and then it gets very, very hot on the inside. In cities like Mumbai, Bangalore, Delhi, where you encounter a lot of bumper-to-bumper traffic, that auto start-stop functionality can actually be an annoying feature to have. So the first thing I do is I turn off that feature in whichever car that I'm driving. But if you are, wanting more fuel efficiency, if you want to be cleaner in terms of tailpipe emissions, you can leave it active. Now let us speak about the performance in terms of being able to quickly overtake cars out on the highway. So as you can notice, this slick gearbox. It allows you to drop a gear very quickly, and because the clutch is light, it doesn't require too much effort either to make these gear changes. The engine revs quite nicely, so it is an enjoyable product, and you can make fast-paced overtaking maneuvers with absolute ease, and you will actually enjoy doing that too. So overall, as a city car, as a highway car, you will have no complaints with this engine and gearbox. The next point, I will wrap a few things very quickly because we have also spoken about this in detail in the AMT variant review, which is also live on our channel, so do check that out as well. So the steering wheel, it is nice and light. It is an EPS unit typical of Maruti Suzuki cars. It has some dead area in the center, but it is light and it is effortless, so everybody would find it easy to drive this Dzire. It is not really very feel and feedback rich, so it does rob you of some confidence, especially if you are driving hard around a ghat road. But nevertheless, it is not meant for that kind of driving. This is not a corner carver around canyon roads, so keep that in mind. Overall, the steering wheel gives you a good idea of where the wheels are pointing when you are driving around maybe ghat roads, or if you are making an emergency maneuver. And even while making U-turns, the steering is light, so it doesn't ask you to put in a lot of effort with both your hands. You can make a U-turn making use of just one hand, and that really shows that this is a very easy and convenient car to drive. I'm going to demonstrate that for you right now. So check this out. Trying to make a U-turn. We are driving around on the streets of Goa. As you can notice, effortless to make this U-turn, and the steering wheel is good enough. It doesn't really have too much of center pullback, so that is something that I would have wished that it was better. But check this out. Compared to my Ciaz, which I purchased in 2015, the steering wheel is better than that car definitely. So that is a good improvement that Maruti Suzuki has shown in their new vehicles with their new improved EPS steering wheel. I said I would wrap it up quickly, but it went on too long. Speaking about ride quality and suspension, the tuning is just right for the Indian streets. It is not too soft, it is not too stiff, and right now out on the highway at 80 kilometers per hour, the ride quality is nice and flat, not too much of waftiness or vertical movement, even over undulations. So this is going to be a good touring car for you as well if you want to go to your native place maybe, or drive from Mumbai to Goa or from Delhi to Chandigarh, just for example. So on the highway, it stays stable and it doesn't feel very feather light like the old Dzire. I don't know why, but it just feels more planted to me, this particular model. And I have not been driving at serious triple digit speeds because I've been a bit sensible in that department. But overall, the suspension, and also backed up with this very comfortable and well cushioned seat, it offers you very good ride quality. Driving over speed breakers too, you don't feel too much of jerks inside the cabin, and over potholes as well, it drives in a very mature fashion. Even over rough roads, over rough terrain, it's a Maruti Suzuki. It is built keeping all of this in mind because these cars are sold in big, huge numbers. So the tuning is just right. Not exceptional, but nothing wrong at all. Speaking about the brakes, they are progressive enough. They are easy to learn and understand. So you will get to know the brake bite very easily in your initial days of ownership, and then you can stomp on them at times of an emergency and the vehicle will stop where you want it to. So in terms of stopping power, I don't think that you would need more. You get disc brakes at the front, drum brakes at the back, standard fare for the compact sedan segment. The next point to speak about is the overall AC performance. Now we have been driving around in Goa on our The next point that I want to speak about is the AC performance. We have been driving around this new Dzire in hot and sunny Goa, and inside the car, the cabin is very cool and I have no problems with the air conditioning. Outside temperature is 35-36 degrees right now, and inside no problems even with the temperature at 24 degrees. Automatic climate control is now active. Now what I'll show you is the auto start stop functionality. So I will again pull over to the shoulder, and now when I come to a standstill, check this out. I have slotted it in neutral, and now I have stopped. The engine has now shut off. As soon as I press the clutch, the engine has fired up, and before me making any gear changes, by the way. So now I am moving again. This time I'm going to slow down and stop again. But this time the vehicle is in gear. It is in first gear. Right now idling stop is unavailable because the vehicle is in gear. You cannot do that. But if I switch to neutral, now the engine has shut off. As soon as I press the clutch, it has fired up again, and we are good to go. So actually this idle start stop functionality is going to be less intrusive if you buy the manual trim of this new Dzire. In the AMT variant, what happens is, because the control over the clutch is with the onboard computer, it is an automated manual transmission, the vehicle will shut off the engine every time you come to a halt. In this manual variant, if you have the clutch engaged and if you are in gear and if you are at a standstill, the engine will stay running. And that I really like, because then the AC performance, it will not feel choked. It will stay cool at all times. So I guess that's pretty much it. That is all that you need to know about the drivability of this new generation, fourth generation Maruti Suzuki Dzire with this 1.2 liter petrol with this 5-speed manual transmission. A very predictable car, a very easy to understand car. I'm sure it is going to be easy to own and maintain just like any other Maruti Suzuki. And yes, there is no major halo in terms of engineering, in terms of what this engine is doing. There is no hybrid, there is no smart hybrid or any of these new age features offered to you with this product, but it does what people want it to do with absolute ease, and that is reliable commuting. And for that, I think Maruti Suzuki has done a fine job, because the Dzire now looks quite good on the outside and also on the inside, and I'm very happy that it doesn't look like a Swift, and I'm even happier because it doesn't look like any of the previous Dzires. What is your opinion about this product? Let me know in the comments below. I will see you soon in another video. Always drive safe. Always try to have both your hands on the steering wheel. It will give you more confidence when you're driving around corners. Wear your seat belts. Drive safe.